Hello, dear aspirants. I am Pratiksha Chauhan, your educator and mentor on Arpita Sharma classes, the platform where you get quality lectures for UPSC CST preparation for free. We are going to start Environment and Ecology crash course. Before we start, here is a small announcement for you which is going to change the way you prepare for UPSC. Do you have a long term vision to achieve success? An Academy brings you new batches starting from 7th April 2021 to aid your exam preparations and help you with your journey. Use referral code ARPITA10 and get 10% off. Subscribe now. Click on the link below to subscribe. Here is a list of batches that we are launching on Unacademy Plus for all of you. Crack UPSC CST prelims through 3500 MCQs 7th April. Target Success UPSC Prelims 2021 in 3 months. Bilingual 7th April. Get set to crack UPSC CST Prelims 2021 in 3 months. English 7th April. Get set to crack UPSC CST Prelims 2021 in 3 months. Hindi 7th April. Ultimate 1-year batch course on GS for UPSC 2022 7th April. Expedition UPSC CST 2022 GS batch course English 7th April. Ultimate 2-year batch course of GS for UPSC CST 2023 7th April. Expedition UPSC CST 2023 GS batch course English 7th April. Strengthen your basics of NCERT bilingual batch 7th April. Strengthen your basics of NCERT's English 7th April. Top and Academy educators will cover the important concepts for UPSC CSC prelims, and these courses will be helpful for aspirants preparing for UPSC CSC exams. UPSC CSC aspirants at any stage of their preparation will be benefited from these courses. The courses will be covered in bilingual Hindi and English. Do not miss this opportunity. Enroll now. Today we will understand about biotic interactions, food chain and food web. We will understand its concept and solve some of the questions related to it. Let us start with this lecture. First of all, we should understand what is food chain. A food chain is a linear network of links in a food web, starting from producer organisms such as grass, trees, which uses sunlight to make their food, and ending at apex predator species like tiger or whales, detrivores like ant or wood lice, or decomposer species such as fungi or bacteria. Grazing food chain and detritus food chain are the two important types of food chain in an ecosystem. First come grazing food chain. In a terrestrial ecosystem, major producers are herbaceous and woody plants. Similarly, primary producers in an aquatic ecosystem are various species like phytoplankton, algae, and higher plants. Starting from the plants, like they are producers, food chains and food webs are formed such that an animal feeds on a plant or on another animal in turn is food for another. This type of chain that begins with the primary producers are known as grazing food chain. Like example of grazing food chain, like grass is eaten by goat and goat can be eaten by a man. Now comes the detritus food chain that begins with dead organic matter. It is made up of decomposers which are heterotrophic organisms, mainly fungi and bacteria. They meet their energy and nutrient requirements by degrading dead organic matter or detritus. These are also known as spectrotrophs, or that spiromet to decompose. Decomposers secrete digestive enzymes that break down dead and waste materials into simple inorganic materials, which are subsequently absorbed by them. Means they are absorbed by them. In an aquatic ecosystem, a large fraction of energy flow through the grazing food chain. In a terrestrial ecosystem, a much larger fraction of energy flow through the detritus food chain than through the grazing food chain. Now, bacterial and fungal enzymes degrade detritus into simple inorganic substance. This process is known as catabolism. Now, humification and mineralization is the two important factors that occur during decomposition in the soil. Being colloidal in nature, humus serves as a reservoir of nutrients. So, the humus is further degraded by some microbes and release some inorganic nutrients occur by the process which is known as mineralization. In the grazing food chain, the primary source of energy is living plant biomass, while in the detritus food chain, the source of energy is dead organic matter or detritus. The two food chains are linked. The initial energy source for detritus food chain is the waste materials and dead organic matter from the grazing food chain. So, food chain is the single straight pathway through which food energy travels in the ecosystem. Usually, members of higher trophic level feed upon a single type of organism of lower trophic level. Isolated or separate food chains increases the instability of the ecosystem. It does not affect any improving the edibility and competitiveness of the organism. Okay. Now we will talk about the food web. The length and complexity of food chains vary greatly. Each organism is greatly eaten by two or more other kinds of organisms, which in turn are eaten by several other organisms. So instead of a straight line food chain, the relation can be shown as a series of branching lines called a food web. Detritus food chain may be connected with the grazing food chain at some level. Some of the organisms of detritus food chain are prey to the grazing food chain animals. And in natural ecosystem, some animals like cockroaches, crows, etc. are omnivorous. These natural interconnections of food chain make it a food web. So, it consists of number of interconnected food chains through which food energy travels in an ecosystem. Usually members of higher trophic level feed upon many organisms of lower trophic level in food web. Presence of complex food web increases the stability of the ecosystem. More complex food webs improve the adaptability and competitiveness of the organisms. Food webs are very important in maintaining the stability of the ecosystem. For example, the deleterious growth of grasses in a grassland is controlled by the herbivores. When one type of herbivore become extinct, the other type of herbivore increase in number and control the vegetation. Similarly, when one type of herbivorous animal become extinct, the carnivore predating of this type may eat another type of herbivore. Thus, the existence of a food web denotes the self-sustaining capacity of an ecosystem. Some species, if eliminated, seriously affect the ecosystem. These are called keystone species. Please remember this keystone species कौन होते हैं? That is, some species if eliminated seriously affect the ecosystem. Now we will talk about the biotic interaction or biotic components of the ecosystem are interlinked with each other, and biotic interaction between the organism is fundamental for survival and functioning of an ecosystem, and it determines the sustainability of the ecosystem. So specific terms are applied to interspecific interaction depending upon whether the interaction is beneficial, harmful or neutral to individual of the particular species. So here 0 means no effect, minus means detrimental, plus means that is beneficial. Now we'll talk about types of biotic interaction in a food web. First is animalism. In this relationship, one species is harmed while other is neither harmed nor benefited. and remains unaffected. When an organism excretes the chemical as a part of the normal metabolism of its own, but which may severely impact other nearby species, this kind of relationship is seen. Example: a large tree inhibits the growth of small plants laying nearby due to its shades, while small plants have no effect on the large tree. Now comes the predation. In this type of biological interaction, a predator feeds upon its prey, and in this type of relationship, one species is benefited while other is harmed. Although the predator may or may not kill its prey, the act of predation often results in the death of its prey, and the tissues of the prey are eventually consumed by the predator. Like example, an interaction between lion and deer results in predation. Sometimes a species can act as both as a prey as a predator, like in case of a snake, as it becomes prey to hawk while act as a predator with frog. Now comes the parasitism. It is a type of interaction between two species which results in damage and harm to one member and benefit to another member. As in case of tick-host relationship, tick gains benefit by sucking blood while host is harmed by losing blood. Ticks, lice, mice are external parasites, while tapeworm, roundworm, etc. are example of internal parasites. The life cycle of a parasite is quite complex. They need host. Most of the parasite make host weak and vulnerable to the predation and vectors in order to complete their life cycle, as in case of a malarial parasite which require vector, that is mosquito, to spread to other host. Now comes the competition. In this type of interaction, both the species compete with each other for the resources like food, shelter, mating, and both the species get harmed out of the process of competition. Two species consuming the same kind of resources, and due to limited availability resources, conflicts arise between them. Remember competition in UPSC exam? Can you explain how the people are getting harmed due to competition in UPSC? Competition may also occur between two different species like trees, shrubs, herbs competing with each other for water, light, etc. Competition leads to the elimination of the less fit or the weaker species from the ecosystem. Survival of the fittest by Darwin. Like example, if two species eat the same food and there isn't enough for both may have access to less food than they would if alone. They both suffer a shortage of food. Previously we talked about the negative interaction. Now we will talk about the positive interactions. Okay, so first is communalism. In this type of relationship, one species benefits without affecting the other. Like example, cow dung provides food and shelter to dung beetles. The beetles have no effect on the cows. Now next comes mutualism. In this type of relationship, both the partners benefit from one another. When similar interaction occurs within a species, it is known as cooperation. Like example, Rhizobium, a bacterium which is found at the root nodules of a leguminous plant, is a good example of mutualism. In this relationship, the plant supplies the water, mineral, food to bacterium, while Rhizobium fixes the atmospheric nitrogen which is used by the plant. Lichens, a mutual relationship between algae and fungus. In this mutual cooperation, fungus gives protection and raw material for the preparation of the food, while green algae synthesize the food for both. Now, pollination is also example of mutualism. As the pollinator gets the nutrition of food nectar or pollen from the plant, and plant gases pollen transferred to other flowers for cross fertilization, thus helping the plant to reproduce similar kind of species. Like example, more example, in pollination mutualism, the pollinator gets food, pollen and nectar, and the plant has its pollen transferred to other flowers for cross fertilization, that is known as reproduction. Now we will talk about the neutral interaction, that is neutralism. There is no net benefit or harm to either species. Perhaps in some interspecific interaction, the cost and benefits experienced by each partner are exactly the same, so that they sum to zero. Like example, neutralism is also sometimes described as a relationship between two species inhabiting the same space and using the same resources, but that has no effect on each other. In this case, one could argue that they aren't interacting at all. So, this is all about biotic interaction. Now we will solve some of the questions. First question is from UPSC 2014. Which one of the following is the correct sequence of the food chain? First option is diatoms, crustaceans and herrings. Crustaceans, diatoms, herrings. Diatoms, herrings, crustaceans. Crustaceans, herrings and diatoms. Please write the answer in the comment box. Correct answer is A. Diatoms, crustaceans and herrings. The food chain starts with the producer and ends with the top consumer. Phytoplankton are the primary producers in the ocean. They include diatoms, that is unicellular algae, coleotheropods, that is unicellular eukaryotic protist, cyanobacteria, blue-green algae, cyanogos, prochloros, nostoc, spirogyra, etc. Dinoflagellus, flagellated protist. So, crustaceans form a very large group of arthropods, which includes carps, lobsters, crayfish, shrimp, krill and branch shells. You can see in the NCERT biology. You can find this. Herrings are a fish and they eat crustaceans. Now comes the last question, that is from UPSC 2013. With reference to food chains in ecosystem, consider the following statements. A food chain illustrates the order in which a chain of organisms feed upon each other. Food chains are found within the population of a species. A food chain illustrates the number of each organism which are eaten by others. Which of the following statement above is or are correct? Option is 1 only, 1 and 2 only, 1, 2 and 3 or none. Please write the answer in the comment box. So the answer is option A, that is 1 only. A food chain illustrates the order in which a food chain of organisms feed upon each other. This is option 1, that is true. Food chain are found within the population of species. This is false. That means man won't eat man. A food chain illustrates the number of each organism which are eaten by others. Food web illustrates the number, not the food chain. So, hope you understood this lecture. Please go through this lecture again and write some of the short notes which will be helpful in your revision. So, thank you.